Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, From Paris with Love TV, and today is a special day. I am presenting you with my lovely father.
Hey, what's going on?
Alright, so I have asked Facebook if you guys can send me questions that you want me to ask my dad for Father's Day, okay? And
I'm ready.
Let's get right into the video. So the first question is from Facebook, and my friend Jocelyn asks, what moment in life made you the most proud?
The moment in life most proud, my daughter graduated college, got that piece of paper, brought that pigskin home. I was really happy.
You was really happy?
She didn't bring home no baby or no boyfriend. She brought the pigskin home. That's all I was looking for.
I did bring home a boyfriend.
Yeah, but that was later on. I didn't acknowledge that till later.
Alright, the next question. What is something that was life-changing?
The greatest life-changing, and I don't know if I can get spiritual, but giving my life to Christ. That was life-changing. It opened my eyes to a whole new world, and it made it better.
If you didn't go the route you went, what would you have chosen?
If I didn't take the route that I did, I believe I'd have had to go back and get some more education, and if I think if I'd have went to college, I might have been a lawyer because I love debating.
Yeah.
So I might have been a lawyer if that was my second choice. Just not having that high school diploma kept me out of a lot of jobs, and it cripples you in your mind, not making you believe you're not good enough to do the job that they put in the paper or any skill level. So always try to get that education.
But at the end of the day, he still took care of his family. And
yeah, at the end of the day, whatever you do, I keep hustling.
Is there anything in life that you would change that you felt was crucial?
Marry for love. Everything else falls in line.
Marry for love. So you're
Marry
saying,
for love.
so you're saying if you have children with a guy, don't marry that guy just because you have children with him.
That's right,
or
obligation.
Vice versa.
Yeah, don't marry because of obligations, because it's good to take care of your child, but if y'all are not compatibly getting along, it calls for a bad marriage, and it cripples the kids more than you'll ever know.
Mm-hmm. What is something that is non-materialistic that makes you the happiest?
Non-materialistic that makes me the happiest is being able to communicate, pray to God, and believe that He's there, and then watch it come to pass. When you believe that God is not in your life, that He's out in outer space controlling the world and doesn't care about you and your personal experience, God is there. And when I experience God, not just believe in God, but experience God, true encounter with God, it changed my life. To know that He's real, that He's concerned about every individual, and He wants a relationship with every individual. God wants a relationship with you.
He used to have Bible studies with us when we were younger, right?
That's right. He used to have Bible studies.
He taught us the word, and even though my dad is not as strict as I thought he would be when I grew up, he is a spiritual man that you can come to for advice. And that's why I go to my daddy.
Yeah, thank you, baby.
Sometimes.
Thank you.
So what are you fearful of?
My biggest fear was death. Where do you go when you die? That was my biggest fear at a young age. So I'm wondering, you came from somewhere and you're going somewhere. So final destination, that's the key, heaven or hell. So that was my biggest fear. Once I realized that all I can do is put my trust in God, fall into His arms, into Jesus Christ, it conquered all my fears.
What is something that you taught me that you would never want me to forget?
One thing I've taught you is that it took you a while to get it, but I always told you, you can do it no matter what. Mm-hmm. You're your daddy's child. I said, you can do it. Came one time out of college when you made the dean's list, and I said, baby girl, you made the dean's list, and you said, yeah, I'm smart like that. You didn't realize I had been telling you that for years.
Yeah, he has.
And you said, yeah, I'm smart like that.
I give him a confidence from you.
That's right.
Yeah, you can tell. Okay. Jocelyn has some good questions about all her questions. So shout outs to you, Jocelyn. Thank you for helping us. So what is something that happened in your life that shaped you, good or bad?
Good or bad?
That made you who you are today?
One thing that shaped me, good or bad, was my father never told me he loved me, but he always showed me he loved me. I could call my dad when I just got married in the middle of the night, stranded, 3 in the morning. He got to go to work at 7. All I had to do was call him and say, Daddy, I'm broke down. And all he said is, where you at? And I'm on my way. So my dad never told me he loved me, because maybe he's from the old school, but he always showed me he loved me. And one thing, he's always taking care of us. There'll never be a day there won't be no food on the table. And that instilled in me that whatever it takes, if it takes me working 2 jobs, I'm gonna make sure that they're taken care of. And that shaped my life. It has shaped my outlook on life, that whatever you do, you take care of family.
What do you think if he did tell you I love you, or you just wish that he did tell you?
If he'd have told me I love me, if he told me he loved me, I believe I'd have been maybe a lot further in life, a lot sooner in life, and encouraged me that I can do anything and accomplish anything. I had to find that out on my own, that I can accomplish anything as long as I have God in my life.
So you feel like he didn't talk to you and encourage you like you
He didn't talk to me enough, and I don't think he knew how. When you're from the 30s, he was born in the 30s, so, and then he's going through segregation, just making it in life and just trying to make it. I mean, I understood that, but I think if I'd had a little bit more encouragement, I believe that I would have went a lot further in life. But I enjoy my life. But it took me to find it at a later age, and I don't mean like 50 or 60, but that was at 30. So I think that's just the right age at the beginning of life. So God let you grow up and understand certain things as you mature.
So that question just leads us into another question that says, this is from my cousin Michael. Shout out to you, Michael. Thank you for the question. He said, what are some differences from having a father to being a father, and how did it condition you?
Having a father is you never have to worry about anything. Your father always come through and take care of it. When I had my dad, I ain't to worry about nothing. I didn't want to grow up because I always had everything I wanted. When my father died, it's like the bottom fell off. My floor fell from under me. My safety net fell from under me. And I like, oh no, what am I going to do? I have no one to call on. But God said, I'll be your daddy now. And I depend solely on God for everything.
What kind of advice would you give fathers out there now?
The key thing I would tell you is, if you got boys in your life, you got sons and daughters, but mostly sons, because they're very influenced by the father. Always tell your son you love him. Even when you're mad at him, tell him you love him. Tell him you don't like what he did, but in spite of that, you still love him. And number 2, I would tell them to always encourage their sons to be, if not better than who you are. And not mean, for as materialistic, but just always strive to do the right thing. For sons and dads growing up to learn just to communicate. Communication is hard for men. And maybe not for all men, but for most men, communication is hard. So keep him close and never give up on him.
What if you're trying to repair your relationship with your father, or you don't have that relationship and you want to make one? What would you tell the dads to do, and what would you tell the children to do? So first, what would you tell the dad? The father who was absentee or not as involved in his children's life.
What I would tell the dad is, first of all, if you don't know how to communicate with your daughter and you want a better relationship with your daughter, I would go to a bookstore, get a card. Or if you don't know where she lives or know what the grandmas or some relatives, I'd give the card to the relatives or grandmas like I did, and put a note on it saying that I really like to have a relationship with you. And put your number on it, and then tell them you got to the end of time, to your last breath. But men or boys are a little bit harder because their pride won't allow them to forgive their dads for not being in their lives. And that's what the enemy wants to do, keep you separated. And you will be a better unit together, knowing each other.
So what would you tell the children to do? I
would just, for the child, you can't force a relationship. Give a note or a call and ask the father, do they want a relationship with you? And then let it go from there. You gotta hold him to a commitment of maybe a week, meeting once a week or once 2 weeks. They have a get together, get to know one another.
So both of them have to be consistent.
Yeah, they both have to be dedicated to making that relationship work, and that's what starts a relationship. Just showing up at things that you might not want to show up for. Some people are introverts; they're to themselves, but you got to go beyond yourself, and that's hard. That's hard to do, but it's just make up your mind that look, no matter what, if I want this bad enough, I'm gonna do what it takes to make that relationship work.
And that's for
both father and daughter.
And I think one thing that we didn't touch on is that forgiveness on both parts.
Most definitely.
Fortunately, I haven't had to be in that situation, but I know some that have, and I just feel like it has to be forgiveness on both sides to even be able to start a relationship, because without forgiveness, there's still a barrier.
That's right.
What if he rejects you? Like if you're trying to reach out to your father and they reject you.
You got to realize you're here for a reason. There's no junk. There's no trash in people. You're created in the very image of Almighty God. And always have a door open for your father, even though he may come to himself years later. He may understand that the tragic mistake he made by not having a relationship with you. So I tell you this, always have a door open ready to forgive. But some kids believe that they are the problem, and you are not the problem.
What advice would you give for like this men in general? And that's coming from Terrence. We went to church together. What's up, Terrence?
What's going on, Terrence? Men in general, try to be well balanced. Try not to be too serious. Life is about enjoying each other. Life is about family. And I tell every man, I always try to enjoy the people that always support you. Never forget the things that people do for you. Learn to enjoy people and learn to enjoy the people that are around you. You might not have a good family home. I don't know. I know some family people that just don't get along. Then you need to find your new people that you can connect with, that you can have a good time with. Because life is not about just being miserable all your time. God created you to have a relationship with Him, number one, and relationship with your family members, number two. That you can never put a price on.
Yeah. And one thing I can say is that this video is not just for those who have fathers. Anybody can be a father figure to you, your uncle, your grandpa.
That's right.
Your cousin, your brother.
Yes.
This is advice to all men and all fathers out there. And I just want to say happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
And happy Father's Day to my daddy. Thank you for being an awesome father for my 20-something years.
Yeah, don't tell the people. Don't tell them how old you is. You look like a baby girl anyways.
I love my daddy.
Love my daughter.